Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Camila Morales, and I am an assistant professor with the economics program. I graduated with a PhD in economics from Georgia State University this summer. And prior to joining UT Dallas, I was a graduate researcher with the Metro Atlanta Policy Lab for Education. I like to say that my research lives at the intersection of immigration and refugee policy, education economics, and labor economics. And these interests are heavily informed by my own lived experience. So I was born in Colombia and I moved to the United States when I was in high school. And I know firsthand the challenges of navigating the K through 12 education system and the higher education system as an English learner. And that really informs my interest in the questions that I study in my research. I like to answer questions and study topics that also have policy relevance and can have implications that impact the lives of people who are in refugee and immigrant communities. So for example, I have studied the spillover effects of attending school with refugee students, where I find interestingly that having more refugees in your grade leads to better math test scores for everyone else. I have also studied the effects of newcomer English language programs offered in schools to newly arrived immigrants and look at whether access and enrollment in these programs has an impact on the academic achievement of English learners. I have also studied the impact of access and enrollment in bilingual education programs. Overall, in my research, I utilize quantitative quasi-experimental methods that allow me to estimate the causal impact of these policies on a host of student achievement outcomes. Some of the new work that I've started is to expand my work on the impact of immigration policies on young adults. So for example, I recently started a project looking at the effect of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals policy, or DACA, on young immigrants' choices in higher education and their labor market outcomes. I also have a long-term project looking at how to best impute refugee status from large nationally representative data sets that commonly fail to distinguish refugees from other immigrants. And this is a real roadblock for developing more research on the impacts of refugee resettlement on local communities, but also the integration outcomes of refugees themselves. So the goal of this project is really to facilitate more research on these areas. And this is also an area where I see fruitful future collaboration. So what else am I working on, and what else do I see some future collaboration happening? First, I would love to continue to expand my work looking at the effect of immigration policies on a host of outcomes that affect children as well as young adults. But specifically, I would like to expand my research on refugees and education to the context of developing countries. So one of the classes that I get to teach at UTD is economic development, and I am really looking forward to blending my research and teaching interests. I actually am starting a line of projects to study the effects of a large recent refugee wave from Venezuela to Colombia, where I plan to study the impacts of this refugee wave on the academic outcomes of native Colombian students, but also on the Venezuelan refugees. So hopefully throughout this short presentation, you see that most of my interest in my work is already interdisciplinary in nature, and I am open to any collaborations with colleagues who have complementary interests or skills. I look forward to speaking with you about future collaborations across a variety of disciplines. If you think your interests align well with mine and you would like to reach out to me, please send me an email. You can find my contact information on the EPS website under the Economics Faculty tab. And thank you very much for listening.